Welcome to MintData. MintData is a new way to build software. Today, everyone expects software that looks good and works well, but we're forced to choose between two options. Option 1, involve a software engineering team. You'll get a great user experience and powerful features, but it's slow and expensive. Option 2, use a prototyping or design tool or even a low-code or no-code platform. You'll get a quick start, but speed gets traded for flexibility. You can build a realistic prototype, but never the same polish, user experience, and functionality that a software engineering team would build by hand. That is, until now. Turns out, it's possible to have an authoring platform that gives you the power and flexibility of a software engineering team with the speed and simplicity of a spreadsheet. And that's why we built MintData. We've actually been inside the MintData authoring environment the whole time. Let's see how it works in practice. So, we've got a logo here, and we want a click on the logo to take us to the sample application that we've built. We'll simply open up the spreadsheet, pick a cell, and write a formula. For example, something like go to page, and pick the page of our application. Next, we'll open up the property panel, drill into the events, find the on-click event, and link it to the formula we just wrote in the cell. And that's it, we're done. We'll enter the preview mode, click on the logo, and there, we've been taken to the first page of our sample application. It's a food ordering app, so let's see how it's put together. We've got a list of categories: burgers, greens, drinks, and desserts. In fact, greens looks a bit weird, so let's open up the spreadsheet and see if we can change that. We've got the list of categories here, so we'll take greens, we'll simply click on the cell, and let's change it to salads. And so as soon as we've done that, we can see that salads here is reflected immediately in the application. And let's keep going. Let's look at the burgers we've got. We've got the typical suspects, so let's add a couple of burgers to our cart. We'll click add. We can see that they're now on our list. Let's say add more items. We'll head over to the salad section. Add a couple of salads for good measure. Great. We've got it in the list as well. Let's say add more items. We'll go over to the desserts. Let's add a couple of donuts for good measure as well. We'll click add, and now we've got a shopping cart where we've got some hamburgers, a couple of salads, and some donuts. Great. But let's see how that's put together as well. So we'll open up the spreadsheet and we'll head over to the tab we decided to call data. And we can see that there's a cell that says shopping cart. We can go inside of it and we can see the exact order that this particular user at this moment in time has opted to order. And so we can actually see the hamburger, the crispy chicken salad, and the candy donuts, their quantities, and the automatically computed subtotals. Great. So now that we've seen how the shopping cart is being tracked for the current user, let's actually close out of this and go back to the application to find a restaurant where we can pick up our order. So we're going to type in a zip code. For example, in this case, let's try 94105. We'll click find a store, and sure enough, we found a couple locations. We'll actually pan the map, zoom in a bit, get a closer look. Let's rotate, see the restaurants that we found nearby. For example, the one in Union Square looks pretty good on Sutter Street, but let's pick something closer to downtown, for example, the one on Market. So now that we've done this, let's actually see how this experience is powered by a spreadsheet. If we open up the spreadsheet and click on the Geo tab, we can actually see that it's a bit more involved, but it's more of the same. We're actually doing two straightforward things. One, we're taking a zip code here, and we're making a call to an external web service to figure out where is that zip code located on planet Earth. And then two, we're saying, given the center of that zip code on planet Earth, what are the restaurants that are being located nearby by calling a second web service. In fact, let's actually take a closer look at this. So if we exit out of the screen and we look at this field, we'll notice that as we type a zip code in the application, it will actually update this particular cell C4, and because that cell updates, everything else will reactively, just like in any spreadsheet, will auto-update itself to reflect the center of that zip code and the stores nearby. So let's give it a shot with a different zip code. Let's try 94303. As soon as we type that, we get some results. The coordinates change. We get the stores that are nearby. In fact, let's look, and we can see all the different restaurants that are at the 94303 zip code. In fact, we can see the address, the city, and so on. And that's really the data that we use to power the map display. So if we say find a store, that's how we're powering this experience. Let's actually pick a store, for example, this one in the Stanford Shopping Center. We can say pick up here, and we get a screen to confirm the order. So looks pretty straightforward. These are the items we ordered. We'll hit place order. We'll get a confirmation screen. We've got a unique number for the current user that was generated to pick up the order. And that's it. We're done. We're going to say okay. We can go to the store to pick up the order. But there's one more thing. We can look at this from the standpoint of a regional store manager. So for example, we can go to manage. We can actually log into the system here and click login. And sure enough, we can see a system-wide view, for example, of the recent orders. So here's the one that we just placed. But in addition to this, we can also see the inventory or, for example, the sales metrics. So the sales metrics will show us the products that are being sold by category. And as you can imagine, this is just more of the same, driven by the spreadsheet logic, but now in aggregate across all the users of the application that have placed orders on the system. So for example, we can go to the admin tab and we can see the various formulas that are driving these calculations. And so here, we've really shown that we can build software both on the user side and the roll-up aggregated administrator side to see what's happening across the system. That's all there's to it. In essence, we've really shown that MintData is a new way to build software. In fact, it's not just a new way to build software, but a better way to build software with the speed and simplicity of a spreadsheet.